Like, I'm sure there's going to be some social commentary in Winter Soldier versus Falcon and Winter Soldier, just because you'll have a black Captain America in this climate, and there's no way in the world they're not going to talk about that. You know what I mean? Like, that's impossible. There's no way you're going to have a black Captain America and you're not going to address the fact that he's a black Captain America, because there are going to be people who are not going to be okay with
I
that.
worry that what they'll do with that though is like they'll give you like one or two quick, really, really painfully obvious symbolic moments of him going like, yeah, I'm aware that I'm a black man. Or of somebody else being very obviously like, well, but as a black man. And that's basically going to be the extent of the commentary because, again, Disney is Disney. They can't afford to do commentary. That'll split the fan base, and they know goddamn well how bad that can turn out because they also have Star Wars.
Yeah, they let Captain Marvel be a lesbian for 2 seconds, and people lost their minds, and they're like, "No, okay, calm down. There she is. Now she's beating somebody up. Are you good now? No, are you all right? Let's calm down." It makes me so upset because Marvel was groundbreaking when it got to that stuff.
We really are way past time. We get past expecting any level of wokeness from Disney. Like, we need to stop looking to Disney for our social messaging. I feel like they probably don't super have our best interests in mind.
That's kind of not what the mouse does.
Yeah.
That's.
Why do you think I've been quiet?
But in all fairness, though, I'm sick and tired of expecting that out of entertainment to begin with. Like, that's not their job.
Don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with that. Because, like, how many movements have been perpetuated through underground film, through
but that's underground
various
film.
different kinds of independent media, through music, even if it was huge music. Like, there was a time when people looked to music for revolutionary messaging. And that was, like, the most mainstream thing in the fucking world. You just don't have that now. Not in any sector at all. Like, everything is about turning as great a profit as possible and shaping the public such that they will consume with abandon so that you can turn an even greater profit. Like, we can't look to mass media for our messaging if we want to accomplish anything positive for society. Like, they just don't give a fuck about us at all. I mean, that's not what they're for. They're for entertainment. If we only look to them for entertainment, and I mean, you can still do cultural analysis on the works that exist, but only in the context of them existing within the greater society. And that's not to say that none have a purpose, that none can serve a greater purpose, or even mean to, because you've got incredible creators making incredible works, like Sorry to Bother You, like us, right? Like, to stand some black voices, right? Like, those are pretty huge ones. And that's incredible, but to look to mass media for the kind of messaging we need to make things happen for us, the people, I don't know, like, can serve as a bit of a barometer, I guess, but not so much a guiding force, where it used to be used once upon a time for rallying cries, and you just don't have that anymore.
I mean, I think because information's a lot more readily available than what it used to be. Like, now I can do research on how many different things within the span of a couple minutes just by having my phone.
For sure.
Whereas before, the only way that you had the ability to be able to get a mass message out was media. I mean, like, I had to get it from my news. I had to get it from my commentary from entertainment because I had no choice. Now, am I going to lie here and say that Disney has everybody's best interests at heart? Of course not. Anybody would say that's stupid. But because I am in, like, for example, this week, all I wanted to do was watch Marvel movies when we had a chance to. And that's just because I know the world around me. I know what's going on. I see the despair and the crushing nature that has kept me up most nights. That escapism for me is so important, to be able, for that hour and a half, 2 hours, to be able to be like, you know what? I know what's going on in the world. Let me go into this one real quick.
Oh yeah.
I think media, especially now, plays such a vital role in that, because you need to give people a chance to be able to reset their brains with that entertainment to then be able to go back in and tackle the important stuff. So that's why I don't particularly care if Disney is a social commentary or not, a lot of times, because I don't need you for that. Like,
I agree with that. Well, literally everything you just said, I'm on board 100%, because I feel the same way about the media that I consume when it's not by individual creators, when it's not, you know, my most preferred YouTubers who are, like, actually doing solid work on whatever kind of critique, analysis, whatever kind of essays they're into, with all the coolest shit that they do. That's not the same thing as, like, corporate media of any kind, whether that's Hollywood or news. I look to that kind of stuff again to kind of gauge where the larger society seems to be, because those things don't make money if people aren't more or less on board with the basics of the message that they're sending, if they're bothering to send a message. And most things do. Most things do include some amount of cultural commentary or whatever, right? They've got something built into them that, like, the whoever made it, the writers, the director, producers, etc., have some degree of a consensus on what will be agreed with by the audience. So there's, like, it's not exactly commentary, or if it is commentary, it's usually very, very surface, very shallow, which itself is not bad. Like, it's anything you've got to say it. But I don't think when I say we, I mean, like, just us, all of us together, the society at large, we kind of tend to look to those things as not just indicative of the way that we all feel, but we also sort of look to them for a certain degree of thought leadership, because they're an indication of what it's okay to say out loud, which in turn influences the way that people think, because most people don't want to be radical. Most people don't want to be perceived that way, so they'll kind of keep themselves in line with whatever it's okay to say out loud, because that indicates what it's okay to think. And so I think that these things can't help but have a certain degree of responsibility, but that they play it so safe because they have to, because that's how you make money, means that it does ultimately not serve as a way to get more progressive or more, just even more inclusive, by which I mean more diverse.
Get more fans on more
out there. It's all about capturing a segment of a market, because it's about nothing more than turning a profit. It's not about changing the world. It's not even about, like, having an influence on society, unless it's an influence on society that will cause society to spend more money on the thing you're selling. It's entirely self-serving and does absolutely nothing at all, almost ever, for the greater societal good. And so I can't help but think that while it can be valuable to look at these things as, like I said, as basically as a pressure gauge, as a barometer for what it's okay to say out loud and what it's not okay to say out loud, that it should never ever be looked to as an inspiration, I guess, for what you as a person should do, or what we as a culture should do, when it's only ever about what will make the most dollars for a few people who are in a position to make an extreme number of dollars from a thing. It's like, this isn't good for us.
There's that part I completely agree with, because it shouldn't be. I mean, are there some movies that you can at least take some things from?
Yes.
Sure, absolutely.
100%.
And sometimes they can even be bigger movies. But for the most part, that shouldn't be where you're looking to get your examples from.
Because that's not where you're most likely to find the voice of the people.
Yeah, you're finding the voice of somebody who thinks, oh, this is what the people want. So, and then it's worth they'll watch it and make some money.
And what I can therefore manipulate them into spending money on.
Yeah, I was about to say, not necessarily what the people want, but what the people will spend money on.
Yes.